Everybody's always asking what is happening in the Middle East, right? So, for some context, Abram promised 10 nations to his descendants, which is in Genesis 6, and that's the Nile to the Euphrates. Now, in this context, we're talking about the big I. They want to be the greater I. Mike Huckabee, the ambassador to I, said it would be fine if they took it all. So, part of what that looks like in modern day geography is Palestine, Egypt, Syria, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Turkey, and Kuwait. Now, the biggest blocker here is obviously the people that we are starting to get involved with, and don't let them fool you. There is no nuclear weapons. This whole thing has been a sham for the last 25 years. However, in order for the big I to be the main power in that region, this guy gotta go. So all of it's actually about fulfilling this prophecy. It's not about geopolitics or anything. All it is about the prophecy. So the Antichrist identity becomes obvious when he signs a peace treaty on behalf of the big I with the 10 nations. Now, if you're one of these 10 nations, you're not going to just hand over your territory and be like, yeah, okay, I'll broker some peace with you. No, except what's going to happen is the big I's intelligence agency, the big M, and their allies are engineering this. And so instead of brokering peace, it's conquest and it's ratification after the fact, which is peace through strength. Now, once this treaty is signed, that starts the 7-year clock, which gives us 3.5 years of false peace. Now, if you saw in 2022, Texas sent over 5 red heifers to the big I, and they wanted to sacrifice them, but they found like it was imperfect and it's not the right time, right? But once this treaty is signed, they need to sacrifice a red heifer. They need to build a temple in East Jerusalem, which in this area, there's already the third holiest site from Islam. And, you can kind of put 2 and 2 together. How do you build a temple when there's already one there? Once that happens, they can start doing their rituals. It's 3.5 years of false peace. Antichrist is celebrated. They're like the greatest diplomat of all time. They settled a 100-year debate and issues between these two religions. And now in the background, there's a one world government that's consolidating. Everybody can see it. It's pretty obvious between the WHO, between the World Economic Forum, some of the technology that's being built in the background. They're pretty freaking straightforward with what they want to do, right? But now we see it as a utopia. And a lot of these folks in Big I are like, it's the Messianic times. But what really happens is it's 3.5 years in exactly. That same Antichrist goes to that temple and declares himself God, which then ushers in 3.5 years of tribulations, which is the mark of the beast. This is where all that technology and the consolidation of the one world government actually gets applied. Now, that's the biometric central bank digital currency. If you think about the mark of the beast, it basically says that if you do not have this mark, you cannot perform or engage in commerce, and it essentially means death. So basically, if you don't have this biometric central bank digital currency, you cannot participate in the economy. And how the fuck are you supposed to live if you can't do that? Now, if you look at the rest of it, it's not very good for us. It's plagues, famine, war, natural disasters, and it's like raining fire from fucking the heavens. That sounds like nuclear war. What happens, unfortunately, is half the population dies. However, Christ returns, good always wins.